Why businesses switch cacao suppliers. The real cost of inconsistency. Most businesses don't realise their cacao supply is the problem until it starts costing them. Not upfront, but over time, through production issues, inconsistent results, and raising costs. That doesn't seem connected at first, but by the time they realise it, they're already looking for a new supplier. The reality is, most businesses miss. Cacao isn't just an ingredient, it's a variable. And if that variable isn't controlled properly from origin, everything downstream becomes unstable. What looks like a small inconsistency at source turns into major issue in production. At first, everything seems fine. You receive your cacao, it looks consistent, it meets basic specs, but then over time, one batch performs differently to the last. Flavours start shifting, processing becomes less predictable, and suddenly your team is adjusting things that shouldn't need adjusting. That's where the hidden costs start. Most businesses think cost is about price per kilo. It's not. The real cost shows up in production inefficiencies, reformulation time, wasted batches, inconsistent final products, and these don't always get tracked back to the cacao. But they should, because inconsistent cacao supply doesn't just affect quality, it affects your entire operation. So why does this happen? Because most cacao sourcing isn't built properly from origin. Suppliers often focus on availability, pricing, volume, but they don't control fermentation consistency, post-harvest processing, origin-specific performance, and that's where things break down. Cacao is an agricultural product. It is influenced by genetics, soil, climate, fermentation. If those variables aren't controlled, you don't get consistency, you get variation. This is where origin becomes critical. Throughout this week, we've focused on Ecuador for a reason. Ecuador is fine flavour cacao, especially varieties like Arabia Nacional. But beyond flavour, Ecuador represents something more important: consistency. When sourced correctly, cacao offers, especially Ecuador cacao, stable flavour profiles, reliable batch performance, predictable processing outcomes. And for B2B buyers, that's what matters most, because performance in production is what defines value, not just flavour on paper. The businesses that don't experience these issues don't just buy cacao, they build sourcing systems. They understand where their cacao comes from, how it's processed, how consistent it is over time. They remove variables before they reach production, and that's the difference. It's not just about finding a cheaper supplier, it's about building a reliable supply structure. This is the point where most businesses make a change, not because they want to, but because they have to. Because once inconsistency starts affecting production, it's no longer a sourcing decision, it's a business problem. So if your cacao supply isn't consistent, it's already costing you. Maybe not in a way that's obvious yet, but it will show up. And when it does, that's when businesses start switching suppliers. See, if you're serious about quality consistency and long-term cacao premium supply, it starts with sourcing correctly, not just buying cacao, but building a system behind it. Visit www.globalcacao.store, the Global Cacao Traders Online website. Subscribe for more cacao sourcing insights, and if you want to understand how to source properly, it is starting here